Hello and welcome back to the channel. Question of the day is, are you now or have you ever been untoward about paedophiles? So just to catch you up in case you've missed this recent brouhaha, Sunday afternoon Kellie-Jay Keen posted a video talking about how she'd just had a visit from the Wiltshire Police force, and let me just play you a clip of what they accused her of.
And there's two police at the door. And are you Kellie-Jay Keen? I was like, yes. And they said, oh, can we come in? And I said, no, you can't. And he said, well, we're here because we've had a complaint. Do you do YouTube videos or something? I said, yeah. He said, we had a complaint. I'm wearing this t-shirt, by the way, when I answer the door, which I feel is a good thing. He said, we've had a complaint. Somebody's phoned up because in one of your videos, you're being untoward about paedophiles. So I said, surely I'm allowed. I said, it's a crime to be untoward about paedophiles. He said, it's been recorded as a hate crime. I said, is it a hate crime or a hate incident? And he said, I'm not here to argue.
So the police are coming at her with no evidence. They've not reviewed any evidence, literally transmitting a statement from a complainant to somebody that's being complained about with absolutely no interpretation using brain in the middle. The police officer attending had no idea which video it was out of the daily videos that she does. It's really quite outrageous. Meanwhile, Kellie-Jay Keen may or may not be accused of any crime because the police don't actually know whether what she's being accused of is a hate crime or a hate incident. And there's a critical difference there, because a hate incident is a record of somebody saying that their feelings was hurt. I could do a whole video talking about the logic or illogic of hate crime incidents, but a hate crime is an actual crime, like a burglary or an assault or something like that, but with a hate element. So for instance, if somebody were to rob me in the street and run off saying, you disabled woman, I hate you, then that would be a hate crime, because it would be a crime of robbery, with a hate element towards a protected characteristic, that is the characteristic of having a disability. Kellie-Jay Keen hasn't committed any crimes. No crimes. So there can be no hate crimes. So that's why these people that complain to the police about such things make up these ridiculous, convoluted stories about how watching somebody on a screen the size of a pencil adversely affects them in some way. Like, just turn it off, turn it over, watch something else. How about you read a book? How about you go outside, do some press-ups, do the washing up? You don't have to sit and watch something that makes you feel upset. That's up to you to control. And let's not forget, this is not like a broadcast station like the BBC or ITV or Channel 4 or even, you know, Prime or Netflix or something like that. This is just a woman publishing her own thoughts on YouTube. And while we Turvin are very proud of Kellie-Jay, and you know, she's pretty much up there as the leading TERF, certainly in terms of social media impact, YouTube impact, she's minuscule in comparison with a lot of these queer let me teach your children how wonderful it is to obsess about gender identity. Those people have hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube. Hundreds of thousands. Some of them have millions. So let's keep this in proportion. Like, the maximum number of people that have watched any particular video is still smaller than the number of people that are watching propaganda that says that anybody from the age of 18 months has this ephemeral sense of a gender identity which we must prioritise over their actual born sex. Bananas. So on Twitter, the the person that made the complaint started to get involved in the Twitter thread because hashtag Untoward about paedophiles started trending last night, and this made them really cross because the whole point of the thing was to embarrass the TERFs, and the TERFs were saying, yeah, totally, yep, have very bad thoughts about paedophiles, very bad thoughts about them. So, helpfully, the person that made the complaint decided to share with the whole group which video it was that was the subject of the complaint. So, here is a clip of the actual content that has resulted in a woman getting a visit from 2 uniformed officers in her home on a Sunday afternoon, where they harassed her daughter, her 15-year-old daughter. It's just, anyway, let's just watch this clip.
According to Newsweek, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia is lashing out against the indoctrination of children attending drag shows, arguing that it needs to be illegal. I 100% agree. It's grotesque. Greene maintained that a legal remedy was required to stop children from stuffing money into a drag queen bra while sharing a video purporting to show the practice at an all-ages drag show. By the Conservative Libs of TikTok social media account to Twitter on Tuesday. Greene is one of the many Conservatives to have recently railed against events like Drag Queen Story Hour, whilst also saying the LGBT community is attempting to indoctrinate or groom children. 100% we agree with you. Thank you very much for saying so. And I don't care that how that comment is being portrayed. It is grotesque. It is often sexualized, and I think that's because with some men, more than some women, there is a disconnect between what is appropriate and what is inappropriate in front of children. Green's communications director, Nick Dyer, declined to comment further, saying only that's what the tweet says. Although the Libs of TikTok account claimed that the video shows cash being stuffed into the drag queen's bra, the clip does not include footage of any audience member who is clearly underage doing so.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of these, right-wing Republicans that generally we feminists don't have a lot of political common ground. But these social conservatives, of which she is one, are also pushing back on the same things that we're pushing back on. So it's absolutely normal for us to review what they're doing, and we take statements as they are. We take a statement like, I don't think that children should be going to see drag shows. Take that statement, take the person that made the statement out of the picture, and actually look at that statement. Do you agree with that or not? And some people will say, I agree with that. And some people will say they don't. I happen to agree that that is not suitable entertainment for children. That is an adult entertainment. It derives from a certain subculture, which is an adult subculture. It's not a subculture that contains children. It's not a subculture that performs for children. It's not a subculture that children should have any access to at all. And in fact, the idea that we now are seeing again and again these repeated incidents where barely dressed drag queens are parading around the place and children are being encouraged to give them dollar bills to tuck in their whatevers. It's not okay. It's not okay to show children that you can objectify yourself for money. That's grooming. It's not okay to confuse children about where the appropriate boundary is between how dressed a grown-up should be and how, when a grown-up is undressed, that's an unsafe situation. That's grooming. Anything that attacks those boundaries, which should be very clear, that children shouldn't be seeing adults undressed. You might see a glimpse of your mum or your dad at home, and in itself that's nothing to worry about. But in general, children should not be seeing strangers naked or nearly naked. I would go further than some people, and I would say that it's not good for children to see those kinds of sexualized parodies of womanhood. It doesn't instill in them a sense of respect for their mothers or any other women. But in and of itself, you know, I don't agree with drag shows for children. Neither does Marjorie Taylor Greene. Therefore, I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on this one point. Don't agree with her on many other points. The biggest one, obviously, is abortion access. But on this limited point, I agree with her. So the next thing is that Kellie-Jay was on Talk TV today. So let's take a look at that interview.
Yeah, it does sound a bit insane, doesn't it? Kellie-Jay Keen joins us now. Good afternoon, Kellie-Jay.
Hello, good afternoon.
What was this video that you made that caused such offence?
I think it was a commentary on Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is shall we say, on the fringes, a Republican in America, but she'd criticised some of the sexualised content of drag queens performing to children, and I agreed with her. I think it is a form of grooming. I think it's despicable. And so I think that was the video, but the only group of people mentioned by the police officer were paedophiles. No other group of people were mentioned at all.
That you potentially have been offensive to paedophiles. That's a hate crime,
being
is it?
untoward.
Untoward towards people.
So, I mean, look, I think to be fair to the police officer, I think he completely misspoke and was rather out of his depth when he arrived. He also asked my 15-year-old her name repeatedly when she's in our property. So there's a number of things I think they did wrong, but yeah, they didn't talk about special characteristics or what a hate crime was or who the hate crime was against. Just that somebody was offended, and it was because I was being untoward about paedophiles.
Did you mention to them that it's not an offence to be offensive?
Well, I can't remember verbatim, apart from that particular thing, I can't remember verbatim what we said, but I said, well, how about then if somebody is a racist and they are offended by an anti-racist video, by somebody talking about racism on the side of the anti-racist? I said, would that be a crime? Is it always, if somebody is offended, that you'll come out? And he said, no, we wouldn't come out for that. Just,
I'll tell you, as I said earlier in this item, here's the other thing they wouldn't come out for. If you've been burgled or your car had been stolen, they wouldn't come round for that. But they're round for, about paedophiles and drag queens like a shot.
You see, it sounds incredible to normal people when they encounter this stuff. It just sounds like, you know, you must have misunderstood. Something's happened and you've heard part of something and you've just misunderstood what's going on, because surely to goodness this is not really happening. It's not really happening that the police are attending women's homes on a Sunday afternoon to warn them off from saying mean things about paedophiles on the line. So if it's the kind of thing that interests you, go onto Twitter, input the hashtag into the search place and read the tweets. Hashtag untoward about paedophiles. I look forward to hearing what the Wiltshire Police say about this, because I have no doubt that Kellie-Jay will be complaining about this. So watch this space. So thanks for joining me for today's video. If you like this content, I have done another video about Drag Queen Story Hour, which you might like to check out. And indeed, there's a whole series on safeguarding, which is of relevance to any parent that is wondering why I am against this form of entertainment for children. So thanks for joining me. As per usual, please do like, comment, subscribe. If you want to chuck a couple of quid in my PayPal, that would be very much appreciated. The link is always in my description box. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you again very soon. Take care.